Some of the strongest women you will ever meet didn't become strong by choice. They became strong because life gave them no other option. Welcome to Stronger Than the Story, Real Women, Real Overcoming. I'm Janae Robinson, and these are the conversations that prove that your story may shape you, but it doesn't decide what rises next. And I'm here with Amy Kokoles. She is a Reiki Master Teacher, certified angel guide, internationally best-selling author, and motivational life coach who helps women reconnect with their authentic selves. Through workshops and coaching, she blends energy healing, spiritual insight, and real life experience to support growth and transformation. She is currently studying to become a trauma-informed manifesting coach. Amy is the recipient of the President's Volunteer Service Award, and she has been featured in various articles and podcasts. She lives in the suburbs of Philadelphia with her husband, John, and their fur babies. Welcome, Amy.
Hi, Janae. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. This is really
Good.
a
Love the
thrill.
energy.
Yeah, honestly, right?
Awesome.
High
Awesome. Yes.
vibing
Yes.
today.
Amen, sister.
Yeah. So in looking at your introduction, you have some very impressive titles there, girl. And so I wanted to ask you, who is Amy when nobody else is watching?
Well, I can tell you all the titles and act like, oh, look at me and my titles. But when nobody's watching, I'm raw. I'm even more honest than I usually am. I'm honest normally, but I get down and dirty with myself. I like to learn. I'm always learning. And I think part of the learning is wanting to do more, be more, connect more. I like to garden. I like to give advice that may not always be, that may not always be asked for, unsolicited advice, right? I love to spend time with my husband. He's my heart, my puppies, my kitties, and I just enjoy being a homebody. Like I said, I love to learn. I'm always come out my nose in a book or taking a class or sometimes too many classes at once. But that's okay. I go where I'm called. And if it resonates with me and I want to do it, I just go ahead and do it. And I love to garden. Yeah, I love to garden.
What do you grow? Like, do you grow flowers? Like, do you
Flower.
garden flowers, vegetables, or,
I would love to say vegetables. We have a crick out back, and we have deer, and we have a groundhog, and we have all kinds of animals. I'm not dealing with the animals. So it's easier to do the flowers. And I just plant my garden and I really enjoy weeding and just hanging out in nature and getting dirty and even with the nails. I put the gloves on and when they break, who cares? The dirt's under the nails, it's all good. It's all good. It's all fun. So
I
yes, I
love
enjoy
that.
that. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
thank you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask you, what's the story about yourself that you had to unlearn to become the author that you are today? Tell us
Uh,
about your books. Tell us about this experience.
so growing up, my mom always said, everybody has a book in them. I was like, okay. So years ago, I started writing about my life story and I put it away. And occasionally I pull it back out again. And I actually got a reading from somebody. And he's pretty famous. And he's like, yeah, he starts giving out a reading. Is, are you writing a book? I'm like, well, kind of. He goes, 3 months, mark my word, you're going to be writing a book. I'm like, okay. So one of my mentors, Melissa Kim Porter, sent an email around and she's like, hey, does this is my story, does it resonate with you? And I'm like, yes. She's like, come be in my book. So I have them right here. I said book of three, but I was actually in the second and third book, the Wild Women's books. And I wrote it, and I'm gonna tell you, it was the most scary, it was the scariest thing and the most soul-bearing thing I've ever done. Putting my feelings that people can judge out to the world and knowing that it was my truth, nobody else's truth. So that my story that I had to get over was unlearning that my voice wasn't important.
Wow.
Unlearning that my story because it's my story. I have a right to tell my story my way. It was about unlearning how to be silent and how to be a wallflower and just sit against the wall and keep my mouth shut and be the good girl. It was about saying yes when I got the nudge to say yes. So the unlearning of my story, like I said, it's just letting myself understand that I am worthy of what's given to me from the universe. I'm worthy to put that out there. I'm worthy to talk about it. I'm worthy to be seen. And writing a book, and I was a chapter in each book. That's like I think one of the most vulnerable things you can do because you never know who's going to get it and what year they're going to get the information. So it's pretty vulnerable, and it was a big feat, and I'm so thankful. I would never ever take it back.
Yeah, I have one of your books. I remember you talking about the story that you had put in there. We had talked about that together and you were so excited about it. You had put it away for a while and it's like you kind of come back to things and I think that's great. And it really does lead into the next question of why do so many women abandon themselves? And can you share a time when you had abandoned yourself?
I think a lot of us are taught to be caretakers, to put other people first. It's selfish to think of yourself. It's selfish to sit down to eat your dinner when nobody else has their dinner in front of them already. I know that's how I grew up with, it's your right. It's your obligation as a woman. You know, let's take care of the man, even though we may be working full time as well. Let's take care of the family. When you think about it, a lot of the caretakers are women, whether it's when the kids are babies or children or when the parents get elderly. Who's taken off of work? It's usually not the husband or the father, it's the woman. So I think a lot of times that's what we're taught, and we fall into this stereotypical role of caretaker. And I think that's a lot of times why we abandon ourselves because we're just doing the do. We're just doing what's expected of us. And I'll tell you, I shouldn't say that. I'm embarrassed to say this because I would never do this now. But the one time that I actually let myself down, because I should have been different, right? I should have stood up. I should have done this differently. Was my dad was sick and he died. I was his executrix. And I had my mom and my siblings all coming at me, telling me, you need to do this way. You need to do this that way. And we know, being in charge of an estate, we're following the person's what they wanted, right? We're following what was put in writing. And not just the writing part of it, but spiritually, morally, ethically. I knew what my dad wanted. And I was proud of myself for standing my ground that way. But all those shenanigans that went on behind the scenes with all the siblings and my mom and the back and the forth and the talking about me and the just making my life miserable. And I kind of reverted back to let's just be the caretaker. Let's just keep the peace, right? Let's just do the normal that's required of us. I kept my mouth shut. I let them talk. I put blinders on. I did what I had to do. But in the meantime, I'm kind of a little upset with myself. I should have said, hey, knock your crap off. Just stop. Don't take your anger out on me. And I didn't. And I kind of like, I think if I would have confronted this situation at the time, I wouldn't have the regret of that now, where I didn't stand my ground, where I fell back into that same old role of being caretaker and put everybody else's needs and wants first. And that's totally not me now. So, but I learned.
That's what it is. It's a valuable lesson, right? We
Yeah.
can always look back and hindsight is 2020 is what they say.
Yes.
And we could say, oh, I should have done this or I could have done this or I can't believe that I was that way.
Yeah.
But we didn't have the tools that we have now. And I feel like for me personally, I look at how am I moving the needle forward?
Right.
You know, I heard that term from someone else and I loved it. I just thought, how am I moving the needle forward? And if I'm moving the needle forward, even when I look back at this time here, I'm going to look back and think, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Right? In some area of my life,
Always.
if I'm being honest.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Always,
Yeah.
always.
And
And
so
you're
it's what
right.
we do with the information and how we
Right.
change. So you
What's
lead a community called Becoming You, Beautiful Whispers. And I remember when you were just getting this off the ground. And I wanted to ask you, like, what does becoming you actually require of a woman? What does it require for them to become them?
yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, honestly, I tell you what I require of myself, and I allow you guys to take it where you want to go. But it's about being authentic, about being honest, about seeing your missteps and your misfortunes, right? And acknowledging them. It's about allowing yourself to see your triumphs and celebrating them. It's about having the worst day of your life and understanding that that's still okay, that you're still okay. It's about having the best day of your life and understanding that this doesn't always last, but I'm going to celebrate the wins while I have them, right? I'm going to see who I am through my own eyes, through spirit's eyes, and not worry about what other people think of me. It's about just being, not doing, just here, listening to your whispers, listening to that little nudge inside. We all have it. Listening to the whispers saying, step out, right? Step out, be more. Or listen to the whispers saying, nope, pull back in and be more in here, right? So yeah, it's
Yeah.
about being.
Listening to ourselves is definitely a lot of work. And I can see where this work came, even with the experience that you had just talked about, where you really weren't listening to yourself and how important that is, and to find communities that are safe, that are uplifting. You know, Amy's a lot of fun. And with all those classes that she
Fun.
takes, like she brings a lot of knowledge and fun. And I did your chakra class that one
Uh-huh.
time.
Mhm.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
And so
Awesome things.
I love that.
I
So
love
I
you
wanted
back.
to ask you, what is the quietest whisper that you ignored for too long?
Hmm. To just be okay with who I was, to love myself and accept myself. I had it for years, this whisper, and it got louder and louder, and then I would shut it down. And I couldn't understand why I wasn't happy. Couldn't understand why things irritated me so badly. I couldn't understand why I wasn't getting what I wanted in my life. The quietest whisper was just, you're enough. Come home to who you are. The value, sit in it. Just be here now. Stop running. The quietest whisper was just sat here. It's always right here. It's whether or not you're going to listen to it. And I finally did, thankfully.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
So what shifts in a woman when she finally allows herself to receive? You know, you're talking about listening to these whispers, and there has to be some sort of belief or receiving, instead of just give, right? So we're so used to just giving, like you said,
Mhm.
we're going to be there. Our dinner is going to be cold before we'll let somebody else's dinner be cold. So, you know, what shifts in a woman when she finally allows herself to receive?
Be honest. Everything. And that's a blanket answer, but what shifts is, hey, that thing I did back then wasn't a mistake. It was my learning to become. Hey, that person I dated, I might want to think it's a mistake, but look what I learned from that person, that time, those lessons. When we allow ourselves to actually shift, it's immense joy. It's a belly, like a when you get your belly laughs, it's like a belly joy, a heartfelt joy that you can't even name. It's just something inherently in you that feels different. Like anything's possible and everything is possible at the same time. And it's just an amazing feeling when we let ourselves go there. And that's the thing, we have to actually let ourselves do it. And not like we live there, right? Not that
Right.
we're always living there. There it comes and goes, right? But the ticket is how to get back to that point, right? How to get back to that allowing. The universe is always knock, knock, knocking. I did a little video today, knocking. Are you listening? Answer. What do you have to do? What do you have to do to say, yes, I'll do it? Like you, I could have very easily said no to you. I would never have, but I could have said no. But
Yeah.
you knocked, the universe knocked, and it was a flipping yes. And even if I'm scared to death, right? As long as it and at the end is a flipping yes, then I'm doing it, right? So yeah, it's just about all of it. It's all like, yeah. It's all I got
Yeah.
chills.
Everything does shift. It's almost like we become a new person.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's just this newness of things that we don't tolerate anymore, things that we don't even think about anymore or let bother us anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like joy can be so elusive, and it can also create a lot of fear because I know for myself, if I feel too much joy, what's going to be taken away?
Right.
What's around the
Right.
corner, right?
Right.
And so just being able to receive it and enjoy it and allow it to be here for whatever season that it's here. Um,
Like the ocean, the tides, they come in and out.
yeah, yeah,
And just because they go out doesn't mean you did anything bad or you did anything wrong or you're not worthy of it. It just, we have to experience the outflow of the tide in order to experience the inflow of the tide and all the beauty and the blessings that the tide brings in with it. Just have to
yeah.
deal and
And it,
experience.
and it really is about building capacity, isn't it? I used to think that I would get to a point and I would think, oh my gosh, um, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And I didn't realize that I'm stepping into an opportunity to grow my capacity. This is happening for me to grow my capacity. And then I have room to start inviting in the things that the universe or God wants to bring to me. But we have to create the capacity first. And really just being aware creates capacity, right? Just the different awarenesses from listening to those whispers, it creates that capacity to where we start to handle more. And I used to think of it kind of backwards, almost like, why am I being punished now? Like, didn't I do it right?
Right, right.
And why is this happening now? This little wrench in the works. But no, it's because there is more coming. So to be able to grow that capacity, I would love your thoughts on that. I'm just kind of,
Yeah. So I'm
yeah.
going to tell you one of the simplest things I've ever done. And sometimes, like, why did you do that? Is sit outside in my backyard and I love the sunshine and say, okay, God, what's next? What do you got for me? I'm ready. I'm going to say yes. And then I'm like, oh my God, why did I say that? Because you know what happens when you ask for more, you get more, right? You get more. And again, capacity. You know inherently that you're ready for bigger. You're ready for better. And it's not like your life's bad now. No, you adjust that filling up of, I'm ready. I'm ready to shine my light brighter. I'm ready to show up differently. I'm ready to see the field and everything that's possible for me. And why can't I do this? So again, it's like the capacity of, yes, I'm ready, Lord. Let's go, Spirit. Let's go, universe. I'm ready. And then, like you said, something can happen. It can shift. And you go back to the capacity of, but I asked for this. In my capacity, in my heart, in my knowing, I asked for this. And although I may not prefer it right now, I know that it's going to help me grow, right? Help me get up that mountain. And when I'm at the top of my mountain and I dare say, okay, God, what's next? And I get smacked back down that mountain. And I'm like, what the hell did I just do? It's the capacity to grow even more. I get back up again, and we all do it. We all get back up and climb back up that mountain into a higher peak than we were before. And then we have the nerve to say, okay, I'm ready. What else do you have for me? And it's a cycle of life, right?
It
We
is,
keep
it's a
going and
cycle.
growing. Yeah, we keep going and growing. And then we, like I said, we have the nerve to ask for what's more. Then we get mad when things aren't exactly how we want them to be. But that's what we need at the time.
Well,
Whether
and
we,
I think that that's why it's so important to have a coach, because oftentimes we can get in that down spiral and or those thoughts of I can't do this, or how am I going to do this, or what do I do now? And to have support groups, to have coaches, to have someone that can say, let's take a look at this. Let's let's figure this out together. Let's look at all these different things, and or even we talked earlier with what is happening in your body, right? Coming back to the body, like what's happening to your body? Is this like a hard no? Or is this a hard I don't know? Or even if it's a yes.
that's
We don't
also
always need as much help with the yeses as
right.
we do with the nos
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
I don't knows.
Right. Right.
At least
Exactly.
that's how I am.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. Um, so I have this thing when I'm coaching, and I use this analogy for years, and my mom never understood it. I'm like, when you have something going on, right? And I'm thinking of it as like we think of it in our head, right? We're taught it's all in our head. And we always talk ourselves out of things. We talk ourselves into things instead of actually settling into our body. And what is our body telling us? And if you genuinely ask yourself a question, should I do this? Your body's going to tell you yes or no. Your body's going to tell you. It's just a matter of, like we were talking earlier, trusting what your body's telling you. Like they have all those little things. We have our pendulums, and we have our, the body movement back and no, it's what does it say? It knows. And even like I when I have clients and they are like, oh, there's this story I'm telling myself and it's over and over and over again. I'm like, flip this around. Stop telling it to yourself and think of it as a wound on your arm, right? So you had this thing happen and it caused a deep wound and it starts to heal. And then you tell yourself the same story again, or something irritates you again that ties into that story. It breaks the wound open again. What happens? Every time we retell the story and we live in the story, it's opening the wound up again and again and again. Eventually, it's either going to have to heal or fester and fall off, right? So when they start saying that they're telling the story again, I said, go back to the arm. What happens? It breaks back open again. So every time we go to tell ourselves that story, why not change it around? I see my arm. I see the wound starting to heal. I like the fact that the wound's starting to heal. Let's let that go now. And it's funny how, like, when you bring into the physical of it, it changes things around for them. Most people, anyway.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. I like that analogy a lot. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, for sure. So, I wanted to ask you what self-trust actually looks like in real life, not just on social media. We see all kinds of things. Trust yourself, trust yourself. We hear people saying, trust yourself, trust yourself. But what does somebody have to do? Because I know that there's women out there that don't really trust themselves. And if you're listening and you're someone that is always asking someone else, like, oh, what should I do? What should I say? What would you do? Or can you believe this happened? those are all signs that you're not trusting yourself.
I would first say, why not? Why aren't you trusting yourself? Did you screw up so badly in your past that you no longer value your own opinion? Or are you so terrified to make the wrong decision that you don't value your own opinion? Guess what? We all screw up terribly. We all don't always trust ourselves or don't always know the answer, but that's what it comes back to. It is your life, your decision. And yes, you get opinions. Like I'm always asking my husband opinions about different stuff. But when you get down to it, when you listen to yourself, when you get into your being, your body, not the head, when you get into your body and you ask yourself a question again, you'll get the nudge. You'll know the answer. And that's all the trust is, right? Knowing that you know the answer. Trusting that you not necessarily hear the answer, but you feel the answer. And that's the best way I can describe it. When somebody says something to me, it's like a lightning strike right away. I know. Yes, no, non-negotiable. And that comes from years of denying myself the trust, not believing in myself and my worth, to spending so many hours and years and whatever, coming just home to who I am, home to who you are, just be with you. And people can say, oh, he knows me better than anybody else. No, he doesn't. My husband knows me pretty darn well. He doesn't know me better than I know myself. Because at any split second, you can change. You can change your mind, right? So how can anybody know you better? How can you trust anybody else better than you trust yourself? Right? You have the ability to change. You have that higher connection that tells you you already know the answers. Like I said, it's nice to get second opinions. Like, you like my gray wall? No, I want it. Like, give me some opinions. Like, let's change the color up a little bit. But innately, you know. And if you don't trust yourself, I want to ask you why you value somebody else more than you value your own heart and your own connection. And might be a journal prompt for somebody.
Oh gosh, for sure. Because there
Yeah.
is always something. There is always something. And usually it stems pretty far back
Mm-hmm.
from some sort of a relationship to where we learn to deny ourselves, we learn to people please or these different things. And it is scary. It is scary when you finally start to use your voice. It can be very scary. But
Because you,
but start small. Start with the wall.
you, right, the willpower, right. Because you're responsible for you. And
Yes.
what a scary proposition that is. Oh my God, if I screw up, it's my fault. Yeah. And I don't want to say fault. It's my responsibility.
Yes.
Do I paint my wall purple and nobody else likes it? Oh my God, I painted my wall purple. But it, you're right. It goes back to coming back and just trusting. You already know the answer. And if you don't know the answer, ask them for signs. Ask for guidance. Show me a purple elephant if I was just paint my walls purple. Right, right. Trust what it is. Trust how it shows up for you. So,
Thank you.
thanks.
So how do you know when you've outgrown a version of yourself?
Me, I get a little cranky. I get a little
You?
crawl.
You?
Me, cranky. You've seen me cranky. I get a little crawly in my skin, almost like I'm in my body, and I can feel my soul trying to dig out of my physical body. I just don't feel good. I feel like what is wrong with me? And then I realize there's nothing wrong with me. It's time to go. It's time to grow. And this can go on for years. I mean, this honestly can go on for years. Like I just feel like icky or just not comfortable with myself. And I that's when you sit get back down, self-trust, self-awareness, sitting with your soul, sitting with your heart. Something as simple as sitting I have a Jeep. I love to sit in my Jeep with the heated seats, with the leather seats with the sunroof open, beating on me. Like I love connecting there and just think, okay, what's my problem? What am I trying to tell myself? What am I not listening to? What are my whispers wanting to yell at me and I'm not listening to? I go to my creek. Water is an amazing place. Run your hands in water, get a shower. I get my biggest ahas in the shower, right? Go be somewhere where you feel comfortable, where you can actually just zone out for a few minutes and listen. Did I answer your question?
Yeah,
I got
you
off
did.
topic.
No, not at all. That was perfect.
Yeah, fabulous.
So, what is one boundary that changed your life? We talk a lot about boundaries, Amy and I.
Yes, yes.
And so, what is one that really changed your life? Because I think that when a woman does step into change, not
Mm-hmm.
everybody accepts it.
Mm-mm.
Not people say, "Well, what happened to you? What's wrong with you?" Um, you never said that before. All the things. And so we do have to look at those boundaries and what is one boundary that changed your life?
I'm going to tell you, and this is going to go back to my whispers again. I heard them for years and I didn't listen. I was the babysitter of the newborns, the car runner of them when they got older, the take mom to the doctor, be at every appointment, be at every procedure, call into my siblings, let them know what was going on. And I started to lose myself. I started to sacrifice my husband and my dog and my life for everybody else in my family. My boundary was a hard, I need to take a step back and I need to put myself first. If you don't call that a boundary, it was about, you know, seeing these people, they don't value me for me. They value me for what I do for them. So I guess the boundary was actually seeing my worth and my value to me and not allowing people to cross that threshold if they didn't see me for me, if they didn't want to be with me because of who I was, not what I did for them. And that was huge. I lost, well, I don't speak to my family anymore. We don't communicate anymore. I have one sister I do, but and it was me standing up and claiming like I'm gonna be me for me, take care of me, and we'll see where you fit in with all this. And it wasn't received very well at all. Exactly. Why are you changing? Why are you so nasty? Why are you so angry? And my mom and my sister both asked me one time, why are you so angry? And I stood there like, what are you talking about? And I realized when I started to distance myself, when I started to put the boundary of me, just simply me first, they took that as I was angry with them. And that was my responsibility because I allowed them to call me whenever they wanted. I allowed them to tell me they had a doctor's appointment downtown and then not show up for 7, 8, 9 hours when I had your toddlers at home with no car seats and no, nothing. So, and I allowed them to do that. And that was my responsibility. So, my boundary is I'm gonna, if this is a boundary, me first.
And how do you feel um because one of the things that I had realized that there was this trait that was going on in the family, and I decided that I was just going to talk to every single family member about it and let them know that I was not doing that anymore. Now, that takes a lot of strength and a lot of confidence and and that sort of thing. And then I also realized what I was doing was I was trying to get them on my side, right? So really a form of triangulation. I'm like, oh, if I have a conversation, they're going to be on my side. And I realized that we don't have to do those things because I think that we always fear that a relationship is going to go away, right? I mean, I have feared that, but some relationships do fall away. And I started really looking at what is healthy? What is healthy? And and I have a beautiful coach and she would say, Janae, People are either going to meet you where you are or they're not, right? And so when we do start to stand in ourselves and choose ourselves, we don't have to chase them and explain. I don't want you to think that you have to go out there and chase and explain and tell people why you're doing the things, but really just keep in the back of your mind, is this a healthy thing that we have going on here? And when it's not, can trusting yourself to figure out how to get out of it.
Mhm.
But it's
It's
work
tough.
for sure.
It's tough.
Yeah,
And,
really
and,
tough.
and I had spoken around the issue for years, not actually addressing it. And I just decided I'm done. Like I can't. And seeing who they were, nothing wrong with them, and seeing who I was, we weren't compatible. And yes, they are my blood family. I love them. Doesn't mean I have to like them. Doesn't mean I have to tolerate them. And I just finally decided it was enough. It was enough. I was happily married at that point. So it's not like, oh, I had to go find myself to go find a man or find a woman or whatever. No, I was happily married. I just knew that it didn't sit right with my soul, the stuff going on. It didn't sit right with me and it wasn't okay with me. And that's when I decided, nope, me first. Sorry, me first. And it's really hard. Like I said, like you start thinking you have to talk to everybody, and talking doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I think, yes, there are some people that don't understand naively what's going on with you. Like they don't understand how their interaction with you is affecting you. But I think for the most part, a lot of people do, and they choose to ignore it. That was my perception of my family. They knew, and they would joke about it. And I think, unfortunately, there's some people out there like that, that more than not, I think, know, and they're just going to keep, well, she's coming and taking care of the babies. She's running them here and everywhere. She's taking mom to the hospital at 3 o'clock in the morning when, her husband just got home from work and she just went to sleep. And I allowed it to happen. And I'm not going to blame anybody else because it's not about self-blame. It's not about blaming. And it's not even about blaming myself either. It's about responsibility. I allowed this. I chose this. I let it continue until I was ready to stand on my own 2 feet, realize my worth and my value, and say, nope, no more. I'm done.
Well,
Those are
and
all
when we
changes.
can do that too, it lets go of resentment.
Mhm.
Resentments go away because you're choosing yourself. And
Exactly.
and and it's I think we do feel guilty when we choose ourselves. You talked a little bit about that earlier. And so just learning how to find that place where we realize that we do matter, that we do want our own life too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Not always the easiest thing to do.
no, for sure.
Yeah.
And what is a story about yourself that you refuse to carry anymore?
That it's all my fault. That's all my fault. That I wasn't good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, engaged enough. That's the reason why everything happens. It's all my fault. I'm not doing that anymore. Everything, and people may say no, it's a cliche, but everything that happened that in fact, it's stuff I asked for, I'm ready for something else, was for my benefit, was for my benefit. I can guarantee you I would not be where I am right now had I not said to my family, to myself actually, me, if I had not said yes, if I had not said no, right? It's a hard thing to go through, and it's an easy thing to blame. Even yourself, we're always blaming ourselves, and the story's like, no, I'm not blaming anymore. I did what I did. I chose what I chose, and it's okay. That was what I was supposed to do. That's what I felt called to do. So the story's not, I'm just like, I'm not taking that shenanigans with me anymore, right? I'm going to own where I was and not blame it. Not blame it. Blame nobody. It just, I'm just like, it's detachment, right? I learned from it. I now have embodied it, right? And now I can move on from it. No more stories. But that anyway.
Well, and there's a maturity that happens. I know for myself, I've always said I want to be the wise woman that lives up on the hill. And
Wow.
that takes maturity to be wise. But that is what every experience brings us is just an opportunity to have wisdom, to uncover unhealthy patterns, because there are literally unhealthy patterns, gaslighting, Darvo, different patterns that some people really thread into relationships. And when we can start to identify those things, choose ourselves, listen to the whispers of what does my life need to go? Where does my life, where do I want my life to go? What do I want to bring?
Right.
There's a lot of real magic in that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot
Mm-hmm.
of real magic in that.
Absolutely.
Now
I
I know
just,
why you have all of those beautiful titles.
you're the best today. I sure think, as you were saying about, the magic, I get, it's not, I'll prop my book up, but the wild women. It's allowing yourself to be the wild woman in your own story, right? No apology to anybody else, no explanation to anybody else, no nothing, right? And you're not hurting people. You're just saying yes to you. You're saying yes to what your soul's whispering to you. Because I'm going to tell you, they're all talk. It's always talking. It's always talking, whether you want to hear it or not. And for some reason, when I was growing up, it was always the whispers I heard, the whispers. And I stood after we bought our house, and it was all this stuff going on with my family. I stood on my crick bed, my bank mother, and I said, "Okay, God, what do you want from me?" And I heard the whispers. I heard the whispers, and they're always there. Sometimes it's a 2x4, but
Yeah, for sure.
and some people don't get the whispers, they hear it differently. That's just how I get it. So yeah, yeah. So interesting.
And it's really doing the work.
Yeah.
Um, I I I am a big proponent of doing the work, saying the things, even if it comes out wrong, because I've learned that I can always say, you know what, that did not come out right, especially if I fall back into an old pattern. If I'm triggered, I fall back into an old pattern and something comes out, I can say, oh, and I usually catch it before it comes all the way out. But I can say, oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. That is me blaming. That is me, my excuse. Let me try that again. And I've done enough nervous system work to where I can settle myself and try again. And it's doing the work. And
Yep.
that's what I see in you is you're doing the work. There's things that come and things that some things never get resolved. And we have to learn to be okay with that too, is
Mhm.
to stop chasing and trying to resolve everything, trying to put an expectation on someone else that since you've changed, that now they're going to be willing to change because
Right.
there's a whole thing that's tied up within them on why they haven't changed.
Hmm.
And we can't untie that knot.
No,
We
no.
can't untie that knot.
And I found the easiest thing for me when I get to that point where I'm like, like should I, could I, should I not have, whatever, you're safe. Talking to yourself. It's not talking, embodying. You're safe. I'm safe. I'm safe seems to be the set point for me to get back to, okay, it's okay. Take a deep breath. Let's start this again. I'm safe. And that's the nervous system, right?
It is.
You're validating that no matter what happens, you're safe. And I think that's the
What
simplest thing you can do.
I think so too. And what I am known in my own head to ruminate.
Hmm.
And so that just clicked into me. Like, if you're somebody that ruminates and you're like, how come I can't stop thinking about this, right? really to follow this advice, like I am safe. I'm safe. Like here I am. I am
Right.
safe. And try to break those patterns, that
Right.
the down spiral,
Right.
because that's
And
where our triggers lead us.
right, exactly. And let's face it, like people, we all have our ego. And people are like, oh, well, the ego's a bad. No, no, the ego's a good thing. The ego is given to you so that you can actually be protected when it's needed. But when you're going through that story in your head again and ruminating, like you said, your ego's kicking in like, oh, I could have done this. I should have done that. Oh, if it happens again, I'm going to say this, or I'm going to act this way. Again, all ego, mind based. And you say, hey, ego, I'm safe. Thank you. Thank you for your gift. Thank you for wanting to protect me. But guess what, ego? We got this. We got this. I'm safe. And the stories seem to lose their steam a little bit. I think a
Well,
lot of it.
because those stories, when you're ruminating, they never happen.
No,
They never happen. And so it is living it out and learning to trust yourself that in the moment, you are going to be able to figure it out.
exactly.
You don't have to
Exactly.
figure it out beforehand and set everything up
Right.
so that you are protected.
Right.
Nothing ever is going to permeate this wall to set you off or to shame you or whatever it
Right.
is. But actually live life, allow the worry to fall away, remind yourself that you're safe, and then when an experience does show up, oh, here I am. It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes
Right.
it's like, what the, you know,
Right. Right. Like,
what's going on right now?
right. 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 Right.
But
What?
that's the wisdom, and that's what creates the wise soul
Yes.
is our experiences.
Right. Right. And I think a lot of it too is about not, like I said, not repeating, but being present. Being, like I said, being in the here, being in the now, enjoying life. Right. And yes, things are going to come in, things are going to be happening. But when you're present, when you're tapped in, when you understand your worth, when things come at you, and I call them shenanigans, when shenanigans show up at your doorstep, instead of going back into that mind and over and over and over again, you go, that's interesting. And Jenna, you're a good one for that. Isn't that interesting? You've
Yeah.
taught me that along the way. Isn't that interesting? Looking at things and being like, I don't have to react right now. I can just ask myself, like, isn't that interesting? What do you think that's bringing to the table? And again,
Especially if it's the same players, right? Because we
yeah,
have the same players that show up, and then all of a sudden something is happening, and it's like, well, that's interesting because why would I think that they would show up in any other way? Why would
bingo.
I think that they would show up the way that I show up? We're completely different. And so being able to sit with that, and we can't always figure out why they do the things that they do, but when we can see the patterns of dysfunction, we can say, oh, well, there is this pattern of dysfunction that I can see. So I'm not going to step into that pattern. I'm not going to try to change their mind. I'm not going to try to make them see. I'm not going to chase them to choose me. I don't have to do that. I can just be like, okay, well, we'll just let them deal with whatever it is that they're dealing with. And if they need me, they know where I am.
Exactly. And that's where your self-trust comes in. Do you really want to get into the shenanigans, into the crap that goes on? Do you really want to get there? Trust yourself to say yes or no. I mean, you're going to hopefully say no. Trust it. Trust what you're feeling in your body. Trust that and yes, you see the patterns, but I think more as well, you feel the patterns. You feel your body tightening up when somebody says something that you know is going to start a fight, right? You feel like when your sibling says something snarky, oh, I didn't mean it that way. I was kidding. You feel it, right? So then we get step back. Like you said, we step back and we're like, okay, let them do them. I'm doing me. I'm going to stay present in me. And if they want me, I'm here. They know where I am. And I'll know how because I'm in the moment. I'll know how to handle and what to say, mostly.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes,
and I have to write this down. I'm like, I didn't bring a pen with me, but it's like what's coming to me is that we always want to make sure we have an exit strategy. And I teach people this about holidays, right? I always say
mhm,
you don't have to be the first one there and the last one to go home. You get to choose when you show up. Like, what is your exit strategy? If you really enjoy being there in the beginning and kind of setting things up and the food is all fresh and whatever, great.
right,
Do
right.
that, but don't stay all the way through the night if you know that there are people there that might be depleting your energy or if things do start to heat up a little bit, have an exit strategy. And so for some reason that just stuck in my head that, yeah, even like with everything, even in an argument, do we have an exit strategy when we're triggered? Because sometimes we get triggered and it's like, but, you're not seeing this, you're not seeing this, especially if it involves children or if you are trying to, like you see an underdog thing kind of happening, but you're not in control. Like there's all these different things, and that can escalate to be something really awful. And so,
Absolutely.
where can we find our exit strategies? Where can we encourage other people to calm down? Like, hey, let's go for a walk. Let's just go for a walk. Especially if you see what's going on, because a lot of times people freeze and or they circle around and they egg on the fight, right?
Yeah,
Like there's
yeah,
all kinds of
yeah,
things that can
yeah.
happen. And so even when we're at a holiday, it's like you get there because if you're not at home, you don't have control. But when you get there, it's like, oh, is there a deck out there? Is there some grass out there? Is there a path or a street that I can walk on? What time am I going home? All the things that I used to never ask myself.
Yep.
So this exit strategy, I'm gonna have to play with that for a while. That's gonna be
Right,
fun.
right.
Yeah.
And I go back to the I'm safe.
Yeah, I love the I'm safe.
When the shenanigans start, like I said,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Think let's stay a little bit longer, right? It's we're doing good right now. We're gonna hang out a little bit longer, and then it's like you said, it starts. You need to know, like, nope, this is my body speaking. It's time to go, sister. I'm leaving, like I'm done. Not
Yeah,
angry, but my exit strategy is I'm tuned in, I'm tapped in. I go as myself, as my beautiful, authentic self to wherever I'm going, enough that when I don't feel comfortable, my exit strategy is I'm safe and I'm safe to leave. I'm going.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
right.
I love that.
Awesome.
So I wanted to just have some fun here. I haven't done this with anyone else, but I just
Okay.
wanted to like throw out some rapid fire questions at you
Brady.
just so that you can just, answer them.
Okay. Okay.
So the first one is fear or intuition, and how do you tell the difference?
Your intuition. Okay. So scares me both, right? Intuition scares me. Fear scares me. The difference is if it's a hell yes, I have nothing to lose. Let's do this. I'm scared to death, but I'm going to do it anyway. You and I had this conversation. Scared to death, but I did it anyway. That's intuition. That's my knowing. That's my speaking. That's my self-trust. Fear? I'm getting no. Just a no. You just feel it. You feel it differently in your body. You feel it differently. And that's how I do it. A hell yes, or well, I have nothing to lose. Let's go for it. Versus no.
Love it. Control or surrender?
So when we're in control, when we think we're in control and everything's going cattywampus, no matter what we do, it's time to surrender. When you have no way forward, no way back, no way side to side. When you think that you have control, it's time to let go. It's time to surrender. There's a bigger plan for you. And when we hold it tight, I think God laughs at us. I think he laughs at us. Yeah. So,
Love
yeah.
it.
hmm
Silence or expression?
I think silence is needed in order to get to the truest heart of in your truest expression.
Yeah. So one word that you're currently becoming.
Me,
Love it.
me, every single day, becoming me.
And one truth that women need to hear right now.
As I'm sitting here wanting to cry, happy tears and tears of, oh my God, if I could just tell you how valuable you are.
Mhm.
I'm getting chills. If I could, and I in my group a lot of times, I'll just say, hey, ladies, you're loved, you're worthy, you're valuable. Don't let anybody ever tell you you're not. And not just anybody. Don't you ever tell yourself that you're not. Would you ever, Janae, would you ever call me up and tell me that I'm a horrible person? Would I ever call you and tell you, Janae, you're having a bad hair day today? No. Treat yourself as you would treat your best friend. If you would never let anybody talk to your best friend that way, then why the heck would you talk to yourself that way? Society knocks us down enough, right? All the TikToks and the this is what you should look like and this is how much money you should be making and the whole no, no. Just be I'm enough, right? Just I'm safe, I'm enough, I'm worthy. And if you don't feel that way, journal. Why don't you feel that way? And I'm not saying every day you have to feel that way, because let's face it, we all have bad hair days and we all feel like you want
Sure.
to scream. But inherently, why do you not feel worthy? What is it in your past? What trauma was brought from your past to your present that's still stored in your body that we haven't let go of, right? That makes us think that we're not worthy, we're not good enough, we're not deserving of the life we want to live. We're not deserving of receiving what it is we want to receive. Says who? So that would be my advice to everybody.
I love that. Says who?
Says who?
Says who? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Well, how can somebody find you? How can somebody find you if they want to work with you, if they want to join your group?
Um,
What are all the channels?
on my channels. So I'm a really bad Instagrammer. I'm going to tell you now. But I'm actually at amykokoles.com with my Reiki and my coaching. Right now, Becoming You Beautiful Whispers is Facebook. I think that's going to be changing soon, the name on that. And yeah, and just Amy Kormansky Kokoles on regular Facebook. And I also have Amy Kokoles Healing and Guidance on Facebook. Just
And
reach
what
out.
was your Instagram handle?
Uh, Amy Kokoles, I think.
Okay,
I'm
so
not an
super easy.
Instagrammer. Yeah,
Super
I'm not an
easy.
Instagrammer.
Yeah,
But if you
and
see
then
Jeanette, you'll find me.
okay, yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
And actually I will link your things below this. So we'll
Okay.
have some links for you
Okay.
to as an audience to find Amy. And
Fabulous.
then where can people find your books?
Actually, Amazon. We have, I'm gonna do a little shameless plug.
Yes, please.
The Wild Woman's Book of Prosperity and Alchemy, they're actually on Amazon. They're still 99 cents on Kindle. If you would like to purchase them through me, you can do that and I'll send them out and I'll autograph them for you. They're $15 and I no shipping at all. I'll take care of the shipping. And yeah, and I'm going to tell you right now that I actually wrote my first solo book because these books are women from across the world who got together and we were tasked with what's prosperity mean to you, and we weren't talking. And it's funny how when you have the soul sisterhood, it just came together. The same thing with the alchemy. What's alchemy mean to you? And it all just flowed so beautifully together, right? But I did. In the process, I wrote my next book, my solo. I have in a writing group, and one of the guys is going to be my illustrator. So I need to get him my little ideas. He said, "Don't draw." I drew. I draw stick people. He's like, "Don't draw, Abe. Don't draw. Just give me." give me your ideas in writing. Yeah, because I think you'd start laughing and not be able to stop. So in writing what you want, where you want it, that's going to be just like a like cute little book, Women Supporting Women. And then I have three others sitting on the burner that I need to finish up. Because we all have a book in us, ladies. We all have a voice. We all have a right to speak our mind and our heart. And if you don't know who you are, if you don't spend the time getting to know you and getting to the stillness, right? If you don't listen to that whisper, you're never going to be able to write, speak what you're feeling. You're never going to be able to share your heart with the world or your light with the world. And that's why we're all here. And I share it differently from Janae, right? And you'll share it differently from the both of us. And it's never wrong, right? You're called to share your light in your own divine, unique way. And if you don't get quiet, you can't share your whispers and you can't share your heart and your light, which is the most important.
Well, what a beautiful place to end. Thank you,
Well,
Amy.
thank you.
Always good to
Awesome.
see you.
I
And
love you, Janae. I'm so grateful for you and to you and everybody. So thank you. Take care.